Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name is Jen, and today I am making a huge mess with pastels. Not intentionally, but it ends up turning into a mess, but you'll see it when it's finished. So what I'm doing here is using chalk pastels with water, which you can do. It's not a new thing. It's not like something that's like, groundbreaking or anything like that, but it creates kind of a watercolor type effect when you do it, which helps with backgrounds and stuff, or if you really want to fill in a lot of space very quickly. Last time I did this was in college, would have been 7-ish years ago, I would say. And at the time, our teacher said it was Dega used to do it, the guy who did the ballerinas and pastels and stuff like that. Whether he did or not, I know he used pastels, but whether he did this or not, I don't actually know, because I haven't looked it up to see if the teacher was lying to us or not, because, teachers do that, whether you're in middle school, high school, college, university. Maybe not so much lie, but give information that's maybe not 100% correct. And then, of course, get pissed off when you call them on it, which happened to me. This is completely nothing to do with this picture of flowers, but I got kicked out of class because I told some substitute art teacher, because she was trying to teach us about ancient Egyptian art, and she was saying this and that, and I was like, "You're wrong. Nope, you're wrong. Maybe, you're wrong." Maybe that's why I could have maybe went about it a different way rather than just tell her she's wrong. But she kicked me out of class, and that's fine, whatever. And she was only there a couple days, so I just kind of had to glare at her. I would have been 14, something like that, probably 14. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Well, that doesn't matter now. That was a long time ago. It didn't matter. I was pissed off then. Don't get me wrong, but now it doesn't matter. But now I'm just putting chalk pastels. Now these are just basic chalk pastels. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too expensive or anything like that. They're just basic chalk pastels you can get at pretty much any craft art supply store. This were probably got these at oh gosh, not Hobby Lobby. You don't have Hobby Lobby here. Wouldn't shop there anywhere if you did. Anyway, if you did, Hobbycraft, that's what it's called here. You don't have Michael's here either. You just have pretty much Hobbycraft, which is expensive unless you get a discount. But no, these were originally supposed to be hydrangeas, but you know what? I'm just calling them wildflowers. They can just be wildflowers. We'll just call them wildflowers in a field. That could work. Yeah. And I'm just adding random colors in here. And my hands made a huge mess. I made a huge mess all over the place. That's okay. Pastels are messy. Wear gloves if you don't like the mess, And now, I wish I had a better white pastel. That's the one thing I really wish I did have. Maybe I'll invest in that. A better couple of white pastels, like chalk pastels or soft pastels. Maybe I'll do that once I have some extra money to spend or whatever. I don't even actually need any art supplies. I have too many freaking art supplies. I'll never use them. That's why when people, friends or whatever, "Oh, I need this," don't buy it. I have it. I will give it to you. And they're like, "Oh, what do you want for it?" "Nothing. Just take it from me. I have too many. I will never use them all. Take it." This is the problem. You go to college and you have all these art supplies given to you. You never use them all, and then you buy stuff for uni and you never use it all. And so you've got boxes full of crap you'll never use, which is just what am I gonna do with it all? You don't throw it away because you bought it. So, but I could donate it. I guess I could do that. But then I could, the whole virus thing. That's just probably gonna add things to that, so that's not gonna work. But oh yeah, dude, this is I'm completely all over the place. No surprise. But once this dries, you can actually put the water layer dries and stuff. You can put pastels on top of it, which is handy if you want to layer stuff. Which is what I'm trying to do here. Kind of unsuccessfully, because I was upside down. Whoops. Turn it around. And I'm like, wait, well, this doesn't look quite right. What is wrong with this picture here? Oh yeah, flowers aren't in the right places. But that's okay. Now, I could have left this, actually. There's various stages on me making this. I actually don't mind the way it looks. But, of course, I'm like, no, I need to do this, I need to do that. Let's just make a mess. Which is okay. Sometimes you just have to make a mess when you're creating art. Sometimes you need to just relax and just throw everything down on the paper and see what the hell happens, because you might end up with something that's great, you might end up with something that's complete crap, but whatever, it happens. But yeah, no, it's not complete crap, thankfully. It looks okay. I wish the white was better. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So, add a bit of blue, add a bit of purple and pink to the flowers and stuff like that. At this stage, I'm like, screw it, they're not hydrangeas, they're just like I said, wildflowers and a sort of field kind of effect, we'll just go for that. Just because I can't be bothered to make it look like hydrangeas, because it's a lot of petals. Hydrangeas, I like hydrangeas, but they've got like a crap load of petals, but that's okay. So now I'm just kind of trying to add a bit of more definition to it. And this is a different thing of pastels. Like I said, I have way too many. I have a whole drawer full, and I have a whole box full. I'll never use them all. And so I'm just like, let's just make a mess with them. Now that's Conte. Wrong Conte though. So I wanted this Conte. The square Conte. Didn't want the round Conte. Wanted that, which is just like compressed, pastel, charcoal, and other stuff. Conte. Underrated medium. Really good actually. Quite like it. But I don't use it enough. Probably should. It was a bit stark on this actually in the end when I decided. I was like, no, rub it out a bit. Good. Anyway. Just make it so it's a little bit smoother. Blend it in more. Because it doesn't work. It's a bit too stark, actually. So try to find the bigger pastels because I needed a white. Because the white in that smaller thing was like too tiny to hold. It kept falling out of my hands. So it's like, and add some blue. At this point, I'm just like, screw it. Let's just add every frickin' color to the damn thing. Because, what the hell. Let's just see how messy I can make my desk. Which I did make a bit messy. Not as bad as I thought I would. But it's clean now. So that's okay. There was pastel everywhere. I think there's pastel on top of the computer case actually. Yeah, there is. Oh well. I'll vacuum it off later. I'll get the vacuum up here somehow. And then I was like, try to define that with some charcoal pencils, which I have. I have a set of them too, which I don't use very often, which I should use actually because they probably would work better for me. But then the pastels, I don't really know. But the whole point of this, I didn't want anything realistic. I just wanted to relax without having to make something look completely realistic. So it's very abstract, and I'm okay with that. It's very blue here, but it's not quite this blue in the end, so and I said, just keep trying to add a bit more detail to it, and it's not working. I should have just given up at this point and decided, you know what, let's go see what ink does. Probably would have worked actually, but then I would have had to find my inks and stuff. But actually I know where they are. I'm looking at it right now. But it's handy to have everything labeled in this thing, because if I didn't have everything labeled in the stand, I wouldn't know where anything freaking was. I'd be completely lost and everything. It'd be even more messier than it is at the moment. But yeah, so I'm just adding more shapes and lines. So it's just me. This is pretty much me repeating this over and over and over again. So I guess kind of like boring speed paint. Well, not so much boring, but it's repetitive, slightly. But you have to do that in art sometimes, because you don't know what sometimes things will work. Now see, you kind of see the petals there, and it doesn't end up looking like this at all. It really doesn't. It's kind of funny actually how much different this looks towards what I'm looking at the moment. It looks nothing like this, which you won't actually get to see because I forgot to videotape it. Because actually I didn't forget, I just, at that stage I didn't have anything, nothing was set up, so I was like, screw it, we'll just work on it. But, hey, adding a bit yellow, bit of orange, just because, blue, yellow, orange, opposites and all that crap, to see if it would kind of stand out more. And it doesn't really work, and in the end you don't see a lot of it. There's only maybe like one or two small bits that you get to see. So I'm just layering things over again, so it's like less mixed media, I guess, technically now. It's a mixed media now, technically. I guess you got water, Conte, charcoal, yeah, mixed media, more than two. It's actually just two, it's mixed media. This is mixed media. Now there's black. I don't like the one I added here. I kind of try to fix it in the end. I shouldn't have added it. I really regret adding that. It looks okay, sort of, in the end. It does, but I regret adding the black. I should have maybe left the black. Actually, no, I know I should have left the black alone. And now I'm just trying to add a bit more texture to it because it's very flat, and it needs like I said, a bit more texture to it, a bit of highlights to it, because it's too flat. There's no values, there's no tones, there's nothing to it whatsoever. It's just one boring slab piece of pastels on paper, which is watercolor paper actually. Forgot to mention that. Just basic, simple watercolor paper. And nothing special either. I wish I had to use thicker stuff, but I don't know if I have any around somewhere. Possibly. And I'm just adding more highlights to see if it works. And it doesn't kind of work because, like I said, crappy white. But, I will eventually maybe get a different one. Maybe. I'll have a look and see if I can get different ones. Because, you need a good white to add a bit of highlights and stuff to it. It works with anything, whether it's colored pencil or the better the white you have, the better. So I'm just, like I said, I keep adding bits of texture, and this is pinks, purples, add a bit of dark to it. See, my fingers keep, by the time I'm doing this, my hand has actually died. Well, not died, but it's gone completely numb at this stage. So I keep dropping things, and it's actually very hard to hold the little pieces of charcoal, or not charcoal, pastels, because my hand's gone numb. The MS just decided, nope, you're not working anymore, so screw you. Your hand is completely numb and dead, and you cannot figure out where it's in the world. It has no, it's not peripheral vision. your hands don't have eyes. It's no, can't remember what it's called. But you don't know what's around your hand and stuff like that. And it's actually very frustrating, and you can't really feel things, and you drop things, and pins and needles in your hands, and so it kind of sucks when you're trying to draw. Don't recommend that at all. Really don't. So don't get MS. No, yeah, please don't. It's not nice. Just adding a bit of blue. See how much different this looks like from way before? It's a bit more, well, you can tell it's a pastel, but it's a bit more, colorful, we'll say, a bit of blues and stuff like that. So I don't know what kind of flowers these would be. They're just random flowers out in the world, kind of. Nothing special. We'll just say they're purple flowers. I don't really know. Purple, blue flowers. I don't freaking know. But yeah, it's just me like making a mess, and by this stage I have probably dust on my nose. Actually, I've got dust on my forehead probably by this stage, which actually is probably still there now that I think about it. Probably pointed it out earlier, but I forgot to wipe it off, so I probably still have pastel on my forehead, which is one of the problems. It gets everywhere, you know, with pastels, but I like using them. They're okay. I like the look and the effect. I'm not the best at them, but I like the way they look. And this is it here, and I see it looks a lot different. Regret the black, but it adds a bit of definition to it. Not too much. Yes, I'm holding it. You're hearing me flutter it in the wind. And it is what it is. I like how it kind of splotches of color look and a bit of the texture, but it looks okay. So this is me making a mess, and thank you for watching. And once again, like, comment, subscribe, all that crap that we're supposed to say to be proper YouTubers and all that stuff.